Hey everybody, welcome back to another TO interview for Vortex Gallery. I'm Shib and I'm here with Team Kyanta. That is four of our representatives bringing Ultra Fight Kyanta 2 to Vortex Gallery at EVO this year. So we got a couple of names to go through. First of all, Hippo over here with I guess the
Yeah,
Hippo. Yeah, how
yeah,
you doing?
doing all right. Yeah, a
That's
little.
that.
I haven't had a camera for the longest time, but now I think I gotta get up in front.
I
Uh,
really, yeah, I really appreciate the presentation here. We got the one and only Butt69, my man. How you doing?
Oh, I'm loving the hippo puppet. That's my big thing.
Thank you.
Yeah, and Durjo, what's up?
Living it up. There you go.
Love it. Mental Minx, how you doing?
Doing wonderful. Just having another time here with my wonderful hippo and the others.
Hmm
Yes. All
hmm
right, cool. So, definitely a whole group, and I'm glad that we have that because I can ask you guys just what we're doing here. So, um, I guess the first thing that comes to mind is that, well, first of all, you guys are running, like I said, Ultra Fight Kyanta 2 at Evo, and this is I think a lot of people are recently exposed to this game, but
Yeah.
if I correct me if I'm wrong, we've had Kyanta around for a while in these parts. This is definitely not the first showing for Kyanta, and you guys have been kind of growing it up. So I guess talk to me a little bit about that. Like, are you guys returning from previous showings at side events at Evo, or are you this is your first time getting the opportunity to do so? Like, what's that look like for each of you? Hippo, tell me a little bit about this.
Yeah. Right before pandemic started, we were there at what was it, 2019?
Yes.
Uh, Kyanta Evo, that tournament, and I believe that was Shinzo mostly running that one, and I forget who else. Oh, and Max Sensei was running the stream. But yeah, that was the first year I started playing Kyanta, and we've been kind of back since then. Every year we were there for the last two Vortex Gallery tournaments slash Anime Evo. I think that
Yeah.
first we had one first Anime Evo, and then we switched to
Yes.
Vortex, and then we're kind of in between now, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So that was kind of like you were getting started, and I mean, I guess for everyone else, maybe that is a similar experience that this is more you getting into the scene recently because like I think that
Yeah.
kind of tells the story, right? Like there's been a lot of growth. Durjo, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, I started playing in like 2019, and I'm a wee lad in comparison to the rest of everybody, so I can't really go to physical tournaments or anything. So I got the opportunity with the online Anime Evo, and that was great. And I've
Okay.
just been working on the wiki and helping out, and so I'm here this year because I finally have the ability to.
Yeah, that's definitely a very. I think a lot of the TOs that I've talked to about this, they're like, oh, we'll have to see how the online competition translates to offline. But one of the other, I guess, aspects to consider is that the online organizers will also look at bringing their scenes to the offline. So bringing Kianta back with a new crew is definitely like one of those direct examples of something like that. Um, let's see. Let's talk a little bit about, I guess, the game because I think Kianta is one of those games that people know about, maybe not in the most accurate way from gameplay, right? Like there's a lot of memes that go around.
Yeah.
And I think you guys are
Yes,
cool with
yes.
that, but also like this game is going to run and there's going to be people who are in a bracket and they're going to try to win and you never know what you're going to see there. So like
Mhm.
um I guess if you watched our tournament back in 2019, or you haven't really watched a competitive Kianta tournament versus now, like what does that look like? Could somebody give me a rundown of like what can they expect going into this thing?
Gosh. Um, that was me actually at
Yeah.
that grand finals, losing to Dantarian, who I think will be there as well. Most likely playing Kyanta as well. But yeah, I feel like the problem was, or not the problem, but you got that game was out, but 3, 4 months by that time. I feel like practically no meta. We were just all memeing like crazy. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
No, I mean
Like
back
that's a weird
then
question.
there was a few established characters, like, or they knew what was good by then because the game was at a point pretty straightforward on what is good and what isn't good before any experimentation got into play. So, so a lot of teams were made up of like the same few good characters even back then. I remember just there being a lot of like say rares and Annas back then
Okay.
yeah,
because she was just good.
Yeah, I
but
mean the top tiers were stand out pretty fast. The
Mhm,
problem was like everything else got figured out along with the system mechanics. Like it
mhm,
took a couple years for Hippo to come around to flash bonus combos, which were this whole thing. And there's just like a higher echelon, like the competition from 2019. I've seen the VOD, and like now you could just get away with so much more. Like a really strong player, Yellow Swerve, just gets away with so much and they don't even really
mhm,
use
mhm.
the same like because you can make anything work really.
uh-huh.
um First they were just like, oh, top tiers are top tiers. Now it's like we have levels of high tiers and low tiers, and even people make the low tiers work at a scary level.
Yeah. I
Okay, so that is maybe something that I think people who don't watch the game a lot, maybe they don't realize. Like this game, its mechanical depth, and just kind of the stuff it enables, I guess, is very diverse. And you guys have been sticking with it for a while, so there's clearly something here. Like what's that like? Like how does the game offer you a more diverse meta? This is just interesting just to hear because I mean I don't think anyone ever thinks about these things when they see the game, but it's there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'd say that the number one thing is definitely the team ratio and the typing. You can put any three characters on a team, or any two, or any one, and then you get different meter gain and health, and you can pick different types to get different stuff. So a lot of new players when they first start out, they'll just stick with like, oh, stamina super, it's easy, it just does what I need it to do. Then later on, you can start messing around with like demon type or EX type and do wacky combos that may not be practical, but they deal loads of damage just
Okay.
cause.
Okay.
Or it just allows you to establish your advantage harder by just having that other typing.
Yeah, it's a lot of like win more type
Mm-hmm.
of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. That
And
So
rarely any of the typings really help you with, uh, I guess getting out of bad situations. I suppose stamina can help you survive a bad interaction.
okay. Okay. I hear you. Okay, that's certainly I think that when people watch this game for the first time, they're gonna be very interested in knowing just what's going on. So I think there's definitely gonna be people who want to do their research and get into it. So that part I think it's cool, right? Because like the presentation uh has like that surprise factor for a lot of people, and then they find something really deep. So that's cool. Um,
I think also very quickly at the base level, besides the types and all the different ratios and all the combination customizations right there, um, the game has both parries, uh, what do they call 'em? Guilty Gear,
RCs,
RCs.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both has RCs, parries, and the combination of both kind of like gives you the option to get out of everything. Like
Mm-hmm.
you almost always have an option against every strategy. Like you know how ST you get knocked down and then Ryu just sets up super and then you just get hit by the chip, right?
Right.
Um, or you MVC2, your character comes in, they hit you with the hit, and then they get the unblockable right afterwards, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel like at least in Kyanta 2, there's always at least like if you're that much of a smooth head or ultra brain, you can kind of just like get out of everything almost.
I
Yeah, there's always
oh
the bigger fish if you have your execution. You could just
mhm.
like
Yeah,
parry out of everything. I mean, you could try.
And
Sometimes it's just like, oh, Hippo's KC. You're not getting out of that.
mm,
yeah,
mhm. And I've
and
seen a
then
lot low situations of matches being turned around in like a blink of an eye, and you missed it. You missed how they got it.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially with parry type.
Oh yeah, parry type and like just the upfront damage that happens a lot with a lot of characters. Sorry, it's a little too in depth. Sorry, but
No, yeah,
yeah,
that's great.
a lot of characters can just like get rid of someone immediately.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you
I think
definitely just delete someone.
those kinds of things make the rounds on my Twitter feed every once in a while. So yeah, I totally have seen that, and I guess now's a good time to talk about like the players, right? Because you kind of touched on it at the beginning there, talking about what players were doing before versus what they're doing now. Like, do you think that if we get some of those returning names to this year's tournament, like things are going to look very different? Do you think that it's mostly people who are going to be new? Like if you look at it from afar, because we, registration is still open, and we still got plenty of people still making up their minds. Like what do you think you're going to see from the players this year?
Well, thankfully for the past a few months or so, we've had more exposure thanks to Sajam's Will It Kill
Mm-hmm.
compilations that also get people to see more silly stuff. Especially since a lot of times the clips are well variety of characters as opposed to the because had those been coming around during the early games, you'd be seeing the same two kind of outcomes of Red Rock in here. But
Yeah.
a lot every year, so we get a lot of returning players. Like for the past 2 or 3 years, we've had they're all online only, but we've had Dentary, I believe. We had our Yellow Sword, we had our Arus and Dirge arrive every single year,
Mm-hmm.
and this year as well. Again, the winner from last year is actually going again this year, so
I will
so
say
that's
Right.
something too.
something to
And
remember is that I think Lim is not even coming this year though. I've gotten
That's
oh
a
confirmation.
shame.
yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Mhm.
Three-time world champion, Len.
yeah, Lim is it's a surprise, man. Lim is so good at the game, and I talked to him. I'm like, "Oh, you need to come out here." He's like, "Nah."
Yeah, Lem is New York area, if I'm not mistaken. I wouldn't be surprised if it's certainly a trip.
It definitely is cross country.
And what's
Well, I
also a
mean,
really nice plus. So go ahead.
well, not to mention, there's like a ton of people who are just constantly in the net play lobbies. Something you really skim over that are like up and coming. They have their own knowledge checks and everything.
Mhm.
Like Cat the Cat, pretty good.
Yeah.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
ever you ever get DP'd 4 times in neutral? It's scary. You don't know what to do.
It's happens. And what's also really good about a lot of the higher end players, they play a well variety of their own cast. Like you have Aru's Hisomi, you have Dirge's Azuma, you have Cal's Gyanta, you have Swerve's Taro.
Sort of
Yeah.
everything.
Okay, okay.
But to where yes, that's why I'm glad that a lot of these players are coming by, since it gives onlookers and more spectators and new I guess new entrants a well exposure of like what the cast has to offer.
Okay. That's cool.
I think also, because the net play, is not quite the best. It's okay, but we're still waiting for rollback. But just being in person, we should see like an entirely different level of Kyanta available. Just because everyone has the no has doesn't have the shackles. There's no lag. People are just gonna be parrying like crazy, getting all the hits. I'm very excited at what's gonna happen.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
I
definitely,
guess
yeah.
this is a relevant question. I know that the rollback edition of the game is coming out with gameplay changes as well. Um, I don't know what the time frame on that's going to be. Do you guys expect to have it in your hands by then? Do you think anything will happen, or do you expect that you'll just be running the current version of the game? Like, is that something you have in consideration so far?
We will most likely be just running this current version. Hopefully this will probably be the last year for this this
Right.
version. It's
Fingers
been
crossed.
about 2 years now since 2018, but yeah, maybe we'll have. I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm just a liaison for the creator Harama-san, so we just
Okay.
have to see for what they say and what state the game is in. Maybe there'll be a build there that people can play, but I'm not sure just yet.
Okay. Cool. All right. So we'll see. I super look forward to having the tournament there. I wish I could say, I wish I could really set people's expectations for Kyanta, but I really can't. It's a wild game that doesn't do an interview doesn't do it justice. I think you have to see it in person. So
Definitely.
look forward
Oh,
to
yeah.
doing that. Look forward to having you guys over at Evo. Registration is still open for the Kyanta 2 tournament. That is going to be start.gg/Vortex Gallery. VortexGallery.moe for all of the information. Thank you guys once again. Any closing thoughts? Any goodbyes?
Play Kyanta 2.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Join the
Why
Discord.
not?
Play the game.
Join
Discord,
Discord.
play the
Yeah.
game. Play the game. There's
Play
a-
all poverty games, I would say.
Mhm.
Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
Well, Vortex
Don't even
Gallery
like
is
play
the very front of that. Play all the games.
Play all,
Play all the
games.
games.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm entering like 3 other games myself at Vortex Gallery.
We're going to have a busy weekend. I think that's going to be it from us, guys. We will see you guys next time.
All right, thank you.
All right. Later, folks.
See you all.